riding along in my automobile, my baby beside me at the wheel. Long distance information, give me Memphis, Tennessee. I was only 24 hours from Tulsa.
British Airways Fly Drive. A lot of America for your money.
Flake, the crumbliest, flakiest milk chocolate in the world.
On a Maltese holiday, you'll find the transport strangely familiar. The sea, quietly inviting. The food, a little fresher than you'd expect.
Oh, yeah.
The architecture, quite breathtaking. And if the local talent doesn't grab you, nothing will. But above all, in Malta, you're assured of a welcome so warm, you'll find it hard to leave.
Open an account with Bradford and Bingley, and it can open all sorts of doors for you. The door to extra interest. If you have £500 to invest, we pay a full 1.25% extra. At Bradford and Bingley, we open more doors for you.
Just one titchy bit of toast.
We gotta put them straight. We're the Weetabix.
Yeah!
We don't like breakfast fit for sparrows.
Nothing to them, mate.
We're the Weetabix.
What we got in here, then?
Clear that stuff away. You make it neat. Wheat, mate.
If you know what's good for you, you do.
Okay.
The Weetabix. If you know what's good for you.
Okay.
What the papers say about Vauxhall Opel.
It isn't unusual to get the odd good review, but one car maker's getting more than their fair share. The Mail on Sunday.
The Vauxhalls and Opels in the showrooms now are showing a new level of refinement, performance and value.
Little wonder sales have doubled in 2 years. The News of the World Sunday magazine on the Cavalier.
No plodding reps car, this. More an executive express.
Tell us more.
It has a combination of smooth ride over bumps and a good grip of the road that makes fast driving enjoyable and slow driving relaxing.
But what of the Astra? Autocar.
We still rate the Astra at the top of the poll in this class for its excellent combination of ride, handling and responsiveness.
The AA's Drive magazine tested the Nova.
GM's little gem aims to please.
I think they like it.
It offers a level of performance, especially in top gear, that puts all the other economy cars in the shade.
Form a queue at your local dealer.
We think it's the hatchback that everyone else is now going to have to catch.
Catch? I suppose there had to be one somewhere.
Before you buy any car at any price, compare it with a Vauxhall or Opel.
In 1847, men got just a little excited at the mention of a certain word. But 5,000 miles away in Copenhagen, one man worked methodically towards his own personal dream, so that when he struck gold, it wasn't just a flash in the pan. Carlsberg, probably the best lager in the world.
So, 3 people, 2 weeks in Greece, late July. Let's see.
Just a minute, darling.
Well, this is a tour operator I'd recommend. It's a lovely resort, good hotel, and between the 3 of you, you'll save at least...
Oliver.
Is there someone else?
Oliver.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you down there, sir. Perhaps you'd like to see some special information for bears while I sort this out. Now, 4 people, 2 weeks.
Don't just book it. Thomas, cook it.
If you really like to enjoy your crossings abroad, you'll be delighted with what SeaLink have in store for you. SeaLink's ships are packed with things to do. They're great fun to explore, and there's plenty to keep everyone happy. You can choose from all the super bargains in the duty-free shops. Kids will enjoy the longest crossing. And you can choose your kind of music and dance the trip away. In fact, you may find the crossing just isn't long enough. If it's entertainment you're after, SeaLink are really determined to give you a better service.
If your kids have got a bob or two, there's a hot new savings thing to do. NatWest, online, second generation saving. They can keep on saving and make a pile, collect the interest, online style. Online, second generation saving. If the money's there, they can hit the wire, get a knockout price on their heart's desire. Online, second generation saving. £5 opens an account, of which £2 covers membership. Online, second generation saving.
iTech is the new weekly home study course, which gives you the in-depth view of electronics and computers. Get to grips with digital circuits and how a complete system works. How machine codes are constructed and how a microchip reads them. What is a PN junction? A status flip-flop? A bubble memory? iTech has all the answers. In depth.
When you see how much they like the taste of it, and when you know that it's natural in every way, don't you think it's worth that little bit more? Of butter. Go on. Butter 'em up.
To pick up a penguin, a lovely big penguin. When you pick up a penguin, there's so much more to enjoy. It's bigger, so delicious, chocolate flavor through and through. When you feel a little peckish, what's bigger and best for you? A penguin. To pick up a penguin. When you feel a little peckish, pick up a penguin.
No cards, no leaflets, no crossing off numbers, and no shared prizes. Play Lucky Star numbers in the Daily Star. Thousands to be won every day.
Harp Heating. Prices held. Save £100 plus no deposit finance with nothing to pay till July. Ring 464-6575 now.
Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Cornflakes are golden flakes of corn encrusted with honey, nuts, and brown sugar. And because they stay crunchy to the end of the bowl, they're helplessly delicious. To put it another way, days that start this good just can't go wrong.
Hello, love.
2 shredded wheat, please.
2 shredded wheat, Reg. There you go.
So, love.
Yes, dear.
2 shredded wheat, please.
You've got a healthy appetite, ain't you? 4 shredded wheat.
No, 2's enough for me.
Reg.
Seconds are out, even for Henry and his brother George.
Incredible but true. Quick Fit sale is Britain's biggest ever exhaust sale. Incredible but true. 26 passengers, only one Mini. Incredible but true. Up to 50% off exhaust in the Quick Fit sale. Plus sensational offers on tires. Incredible but true. You'll believe a car can fly. Incredible but true. Up to £250 instant credit in the Quick Fit sale. It's Britain's biggest ever. Incredible, yes, but true.
Gas, electricity, rates. I'm about fed up with all these bills coming at once.
Ever thought of a Midland budget account?
What's that, Griffin?
It's a way of spreading your bills over the year. You transfer an agreed amount from your Midland current account to your budget account every month.
And then?
Then when those bills arrive, you can pay them at once. Whether there's enough money in your budget account or not.
Marvellous, Griffin. That would really make things easier. Care for some breakfast?
What? Thank you very much. The Midland budget account from the Listening Bank.
Back at last, the magazine that brings together all the giants of rock, past and present, week by week, in the history of rock. The artists, their words, and of course, their music. It's all in the history of rock, on sale again now, with issue 2 and this Buddy Holly single absolutely free. Plus a great free Elvis album offer, all for ATP and newsagents now.
53 journalists from 16 countries compared the Fiat Uno against the best new cars of 1983. They looked at comfort, styling, technical development, and value for money. The result, the Uno beat all of its competitors. That's why Europe's journalists named it Car of the Year 1984. So now you know why we call it #1.
A pipe is more a hobby than a habit. You need tools to keep the carbon down, to shift obstructions, and for general maintenance. A rack to keep them upright while they cool, and a good tobacco. Mine is mellow Virginia. It's not too mild or too harsh, but cool and satisfying. It brings out the best in any pipe. All in all, a lot less effort than gardening.
You could win £45,000 in the new Reader's Digest prize draw. Watch your post for this envelope. And if you're lucky enough to get one, you'll have 6 chances to win. Open it and return the 6 free entries right away. And this £45,000 cheque could be yours.
Starting tomorrow, The Jewel in the Crown. Paul Scott's epic story of destinies forged by the last troubled years of British India, of love in the shadow of the Raj.
I know what I'd do if I got my hands on them. Anyone who trusts an Indian is a bloody fool, if you ask me.
You've been very kind, and I'm grateful.
It didn't mean anything, this kindness.
I hate all the beggars, and the crowds, and the heat, and the bugs, and most of all myself, for being black and English.
The Jewel in the Crown, starting tomorrow at 8 on ITV.
iTech is the new weekly home study course which gives you the in-depth view of electronics and computers. Get to grips with digital circuits and how a complete system works. How machine codes are constructed and how a microchip reads them. What is a PN junction? A status flip-flop? A bubble memory? iTech has all the answers. In depth.
Happiness is a cigar called Hamlet, the mild cigar.
This family is being subjected to the most maddening frustration there is. They've always found bachelor's savoury rice irresistible. Now they know bachelors have made their savoury rice even more delicious, tantalizingly tastier, with lots of vegetables. They know bachelors have introduced two mouth-watering new varieties, mushroom and tropical fruit. And it's driving them crazy. Bachelor's savoury rice. Every grain will drive them insane.
When dressed up dames chant their arm for them, a gentleman will use his charm for them. Can't resist them, Cadbury's cream eggs. If maids on high heave a sigh for them, gallant men will respond. It's hello, then goodbye for them. And they end in the pond.
Cadbury's cream eggs are back in your shops again. But hurry, they won't last forever.
Can't resist them, Cadbury's cream eggs. Can you?
We haven't really had that much money because we're a group booking. We found that Intersun were the cheapest.
Intersun is fantastic. Gave us everything we were looking for.
Well recommended by people who've travelled with Intersun before.
The prices are there in front of you.
You've heard what people say. Find out why they're saying it. Get the Intersun brochure now.
Alas, poor Yorick. Never used Super Avalon videotape from TDK. The great name in tape cassettes.
On a Maltese holiday, you'll find the transport strangely familiar. The sea, quietly inviting. The food, a little fresher than you'd expect.
Oh, yeah.
The architecture, quite breathtaking. And if the local talent doesn't grab you, nothing will. But above all, in Malta, you're assured of a welcome so warm, you'll find it hard to leave.
In just over 15 minutes, a little later than advertised, William Gaunt and Janet Moore star in Lucifer, the first play in a new series based on love and marriage. That's at 10:10. Right now, here on London Weekend Television, we go over to the studios of ITN for the latest world news with Trevor MacDonald.
Another American Marine is killed in Beirut as the Druze leader, Wally Jumblat, warns there's more terrible fighting to come. Mr. Tony Benn makes the Chesterfield by-election shortlist after all. And in the FA Cup, 4th Division Bristol City are still in with a giant-killing chance. Good evening. Another American Marine was killed in Beirut today as new diplomatic moves began to secure peace in Lebanon and to get the multinational peacekeeping forces out. The Foreign Secretary, Sir Geoffrey Howe, met the Egyptian Foreign Minister in Cairo and will go on to Saudi Arabia and Syria. And the Syrian, Saudi and Lebanese foreign ministers have met in Riyadh. But the Lebanese Druze Muslim leader, Mr. Wally Jumblat in Damascus, says he sees no chance of peace in Lebanon. He warned of further terrible fighting in the near future. The American killed today was hit when unknown guerrillas attacked 2 Marine helicopters on the ground about half a mile from the embassy compound now shared by Britain and the United States. He was the 250th American killed in Lebanon since the Marines were sent in 16 months ago. This from Brent Sadler.
The Marines had just left one of these giant transport helicopters when they came under fire. Following previous attacks on American forces, this method of transport is now reckoned to be the safest. The Marine died after being hit by a rocket-propelled grenade during the attack, which lasted only 3 minutes. With the military situation still tense in and around Beirut, Lebanese intelligence sources are aware that the shooting will only make matters worse. The killing comes at a time when the Lebanese government is struggling to reach agreement with the warring factions over a new security plan which could end the fighting. The death of yet another Marine in a well-planned attack will not make the peace negotiations any easier.
They came under intense small arms fire, machine gun fire, and rocket-propelled grenade fire. Helicopter gun crews, as well as Marines in the area, returned fire.
As Lebanese government forces try to identify the gunman, the Americans are now likely to further consider what other steps they can take to protect their troops and diplomats in Lebanon. Brent Sadler, ITN, Beirut.
On his Middle East visit, Sir Geoffrey Howe will discuss the Lebanon with political leaders in Egypt before going on to Syria and Saudi Arabia. Before flying out, he said the British and other peacekeeping troops will be high on his agenda.
Thank you.
Will you be floating the idea of a UN force in Beirut as opposed to the multinational?
That's one of the topics, obviously, that is under discussion in some places now, and I shall be discussing that if the opportunity arises.
The Saudi, Syrian and Lebanese foreign ministers talked for more than 3 hours in Riyadh today about the sticking points which have so far stopped a Saudi-inspired peace plan for Lebanon being accepted. The plan would give President Jamail's army control of some areas now held by Christian or Muslim militias. The Druze leader, Mr. Jumblat, in the Syrian capital, claimed President Jamail and his Christian phalangist allies won't accept it because he said they didn't want peace.
They have other intentions. They are strengthening their army, getting more arms, more supplies, and I'm expecting further fighting, further violent fighting, terrible fighting in the near future. They want to control certain areas in West Beirut, Shiite areas, and in the mountain, basically the Druze areas. They want to control these areas by force. I mean, Jamail will not accept any challenge to his so-called authority, any opposition to his authority, be it Walid Jumblat or Nabi Berri or Karami or Frangi.
Mr. Jumblat, do you hold out any hope for any agreement anytime soon?
I have to hope, but I'm a little bit skeptical about achieving any solution with the Jamail administration.
So what happens now?
Or again, somebody's to lose, somebody's to win. We'll see.
Back at home, Mr. Tony Benn has, after all, been added to the shortlist of Labour candidates for the Chesterfield by-election. He says he's very proud. Mr. Benn was put on the list this afternoon by the local Labour committee. They overturned yesterday's surprise decision by the local executive to exclude him.
116 members of the Chesterfield Labour Management Committee turned up today to review the executive's short list of 5. At a news conference afterwards, it was revealed that over half voted to amend it and add Mr. Benn's name. The decision may have been swayed by the miners, who had more than 20 delegates present.
It didn't surprise me or not surprise me. He could have said, did it surprise me that Paul Vaughan wasn't added or that someone else wasn't added? No, it just went through the proper procedure and his name wasn't added on Friday. It's been added today, and that's the proper procedure of the Labour Party.
So a total of 6 names go forward to next Sunday's meeting of the Management Committee, when the candidate will be chosen. Mr. Benn, with the leading number of nominations, must remain a front runner. But there is a feeling in Chesterfield that a local candidate should go forward, and with 4 such names to choose from, that must remain a possibility. Michael Macmillan, ITN, Chesterfield.
A visit to the United States by the Chinese Prime Minister has started a battle of words between China and the Russians about a threat of nuclear war. As Premier Zhao Zhang set foot on American soil in Hawaii, the Chinese People's Daily commented, no sooner had the United States started to position its Pershing and cruise missiles than the Soviet Union announced it would place more new missiles in Eastern Europe. Last week, the Soviet paper Red Star accused China of swallowing Western propaganda wholesale in mistakenly seeing Soviet missiles in Asia as a threat. Here's an American report on the Chinese Premier's visit to the United States.
The Chinese Premier, Zhao Ziyang, arrived